Wholeness, beautiful beings. Welcome to my channel. My name is Rashida Silvertree, and it's been a while since I made a car video. I'm warming up my car right now, and just dusted the beautiful white snow off of her. So while she's warming up before I hit the road, I wanted to make a video on love, and specifically if self-love is a form of narcissism. And because I know that's a huge self-love, self-care, all about self-development, self-empowerment, the word self. To me, when it comes to etymology, sorry, that's also the heater. I'll try to, there we go, turn that down a bit. The etymology, which is the sounds and symbolisms of words, and studying the hidden meanings, right? Self, cell, cell. A cell could be something that that encapsulates something, right? Like your cell, the cells that flow through our bodies. So when we are focusing on the self, we're focusing just like a cell with its ribosomes and endoplasmic reticulum and the mitochondria and the DNA and the nucleus. Like, these are, things that make up the cell. And you need these things in order for a cell to function in a healthy way. If it doesn't function in a healthy way, you have things like cancers, you have things, autoimmune diseases, blood-borne diseases. Blood-borne diseases are things that are exposed from the outside, but you have diseases of the blood, and when you have diseases of the blood, then that makes the whole body sick, right? And so with self-love, right, we are the cell, and when we are focusing on the functions of our inner self, things begin to move things begin to move in its proper function. It's doing its job. When we're focusing on our mental health, when we're focusing on our physical health, when we're focusing in on our emotional well-being, we're focusing in on our finances, we're focusing on our mindset, our internal world will always be mirrored back to us in our external reality. And so a really big thing in the digital virtual world that's took the internet by storm is this whole thing about narcissism, right? Oh, he's narcissistic, or this is narcissistic abuse. It's a huge thing. You have a lot of qualified, overqualified social workers, therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, people that, have made a plethora of many different videos. So I don't need to go into it too deep. Like I said, much of what I say is nothing new under the sun. I just express these topics in my most authentic self, in my most authentic voice. So, now, given that when we're focusing in our internal world, when we're focusing on developing the self, our identity, how we identify with ourselves, with our thoughts, with our inner mind, our inner emotions, is very, very, very important. And a lot of the time, in modern day society, it's very, very, I guess it depends on where you live in the world. In American culture, in the Western culture, it's all about do, rather than being, just being, right? And so in this world, in this paradigm of do, we lose ourselves in over-identifying in the roles that society gives us. And then we neglect our mental health. We neglect our physical health. We neglect our emotional well-being. We neglect our spiritual self. We neglect our being, and we lose that ability for beingness. Right? Just to allow ourselves to just be. If I'm squirmy, it's because I'm trying to get warm and, dry skin and whatnot in the winter. So excuse me. So, some people have said that self-love it's like almost borderline of narcissism. And I don't believe that at all. I think narcissists are those that don't love themselves. They lack the ability to ever love themselves. People who truly love themselves they don't go out of their way to create misery for other people. People who love themselves so much, they have the ability, this overflow of love to give to other people. Now, there's a self-centeredness. Okay, now self-centered, yes, that can be borderline narcissism, but love? You mean to tell me if I love myself, if I love the state of my health, my wealth, my body, my spirit, my life, what I'm contributing to society, that's narcissistic? I do not believe so. No. I believe that, yes, you can be self-centered, where you make your matters more important than everyone else's, and you are the center of attention. You are the center of focus, the focal point, and everyone else is kind of below you, or just not in your, they're not in your tunnel. It's just tunnel vision. It's just you, and you. Self-love is the ability to number one, to empty your cup of unnecessary baggage and trauma and unhealthy habits, and fill your cup. The ability to fill your cup, and then with really good things and with stability and with neutrality, allows you to then share your cup. Narcissists do not. Their cup is empty. There's nothing in their cup. There's no love in there. They're looking for anything to fill their cup. So we have to be very careful, because a lot of the time self, when we focus on this word, it's like, oh, ego, narcissists, and narcissists are egoic. And guess what? Codependents can be egoic too. Everyone has an ego. Everyone has an ego. You actually have to have some form of an ego to be healthy, I think. And unfortunately, if we lived in an egoless world and reality, wow, that would be something. Because it's like if you're completely egoless, where you did not care about the state of your being at all, right? If everyone was doing that, I don't even think physically, I think our consciousness would probably transcend into nothingness. You wouldn't care to clothe your body in the winter because you give the coat away to someone else who needed it. You wouldn't care about the money in your account to pay your bills because you'd give it away, or you let someone take it from you, and you wouldn't fight to get it back if you needed to. You wouldn't care about your health. You wouldn't care about your teeth, right? You wouldn't care about your mental state. Nah. And ego, I might have to make another video on this because it's so interesting, because I almost went down that path of trying to destroy my ego. You do that and you're going to develop mental instability. Okay, I really, especially if you try to do that without a spiritual teacher, or without mentorship or guidance with somebody who's going down that type of path, because I've seen it. It's like you do this, you go down this whole love and light path, and you start to develop this spiritual bypassing behavior, where you're not dealing with the core issues because you're just wanting to free yourself from everything and everyone and anything and anyone, and you're not focusing on the things that the experiences and the trauma that you need to alchemize into love, right? So I don't know, it's interesting when I hear this. Narcissists, no, they don't love themselves. That's why they go after people who lack self-love. Codependents lack a form of self-love. They don't have strong boundaries, meaning they don't have, a strong foundation. They can't say no. They let people kind of walk all over them, and they begin to enable bad behavior. Wondering why they're always depleted, wondering why their cup is always empty, and it's because the narcissist needs the supply. Narcissists cannot fully, truly love themselves. They are all about self-preservation and self-centeredness, right? Their matters are more important than anyone and everyone else. But to say that it's like this high frequency love, like self-love is narcissism, no. No. You mean it to, no, that just doesn't ring true to me. I think we need to be very careful with how we use the terms. We live in a label. Everything needs to be labeled now, right? There needs to be a definition and meaning for every little thing. Otherwise there's chaos, right? And that's how our consciousness functions in this reality. It's this functional dysfunction, right? But yeah, it's that I was like, no, I want to talk about this, because self-love is learning to fill your own cup. You're practicing, you're deepening your relationship with you, which is the all, which is source, which is God, which is higher power, which is universe, energy. And when you recognize the love within yourself, you are then capable of seeing and recognizing the love in other people while practicing sovereignty and strong boundaries, because not everyone that you come across on your path can recognize the love that you see in them in you. What you see in them, like how you perceive another, may not be how they perceive you. That's a very, very hard lesson I had to learn. You know? So yeah, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. You know, mind your business. Mind your business. Whatever that may be. It's nothing wrong. There's nothing narcissistic about focusing on your health. Self-care to me, self-love to me is health. It's healing. It's therapeutic. Going to a therapist to get help, or counseling, that's a form of self-love. A narcissist avoid therapy. Okay? Sometimes they'll even go to therapy with you, or they'll go to actual therapy and not really get to the core issues, because they're able to manipulate the storyline. They're able to even manipulate the therapist. It's crazy out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to make another video about this whole narcissism craze and how people are like everyone is narcissist now. It's like, no. It is a thing where you get you can have narcissistic behaviors. Everyone can. That's the thing. You can get diagnosed professionally and medically if you go to a psychologist or a therapist. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing about the digital world, the digital virtual reality that we're creating and that we're feeding. And when we run with it, when a term becomes popular, and it goes viral. But I digress. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.